Hey everyone, I've ranked every Star Wars movie based off their LEGO sets, so today I am ranking every Star Wars TV show based off their LEGO sets. When creating this list, there was no personal bias. This is strictly off the LEGO sets released for each TV show. So without further ado, let's begin with the last spot, which is the Young Jedi Adventures. This show saw two sets released, both of them being 4+. The sets are the Crimson Firehawk and the Jedi Temple. I do know that they are 4+ sets, so they're not really in the same category as any other set. I do like the Jedi Temple 4+ set though. I think that is the best one in my opinion. It's cool that LEGO released any form of Jedi Temple, but compared to the rest of these shows on this list, I just think that this one is at the bottom. The next show is Star Wars Resistance, and like the Young Jedi Adventures, it only had two sets released. Two sets were Major Von Rigg's TIE Interceptor and the Black Ace TIE Interceptor. Starting with Major Von Rigg's one, that is a very cool looking TIE. I really like the red and black color, and definitely is the highlight of this show. With the other one, it's not a bad build, but it's just not that very exciting of a set. It's kind of just meh. So with both sets, this is an okay lineup for the show, with one good set and one just not that interesting set. At the number 9th spot is the Book of Boba Fett, which saw 3 sets released, with one of them being a microfighter. It's a good looking microfighter, it doesn't look that bad, and I like the overall design. It gets the look of Slave One, but there definitely are better microfighters out there. And then the two play sets are the N1 Starfighter and Boba Fett's Throne Room. Starting with Boba Fett's Throne Room, I don't really like the overall look of the build in terms of it doesn't look that much like Jabba's palace, but there's probably reasons for that I've just seen throughout the years. But I do really like the minifigure lineup. It's a pretty stacked lineup with each one looking pretty detailed, and I do like the interior space and some of the play features, and I love the look of the actual throne. And then the N1 Starfighter, I like the overall design. I definitely would have loved a lot more detail on the wings, maybe some more tiles to give it a more sleek look. But overall, these 3 sets are a solid lineup. I think the microfighter is good, but the 2 play sets definitely could have been better. Moving on to the next show, I chose Kenobi, which had 2 sets released, one being not good and one being phenomenal. Starting with the not good is the Kenobi versus Darth Vader set. It's just a very uninteresting build. It's essentially like a piece of land with some play features on top of it, almost like a minifigure stand. Now the minifigure lineup is definitely very good and the highlight of this set, but it's just not a great build. Now the other set, which is the Inquisitor Scythe, is a phenomenal set. This is just an amazing looking build. I really love the different techniques used to get the angles. I love the sleek look, and I love how spacious the interior is, so you can fit all these minifigures, and the minifigure lineup is very good with each one being exclusive to this set. It's just a really great design, and I like how accurate it looks and the menacing look it has as well. Now considering both sets, you have one not good one at all, but a phenomenal one, and I think that the Inquisitor Scythe definitely highlights this show a lot and propels it to this spot, which is why I kind of selected Kenobi here, because I think the Inquisitor Scythe is just phenomenal. At number 7 is Skeleton Crew, which just had one set released, which was the Onyx Cinder. This is a pretty accurate design, and I really like the engine play feature for when it's flying and landing. The minifigure selection is pretty solid as well. There is an interior space where you can fit every minifigure, one being in the pilot seat, and then the 4 children can fit on the underside with some space. There are also crates that can fit in the interior, so I like when there's some accessories that can be played with and put in the ship. I really just like the overall look of the ship and the detail and everything that just comes in it. This is definitely a really good set. This is definitely a very close ranking to the Kenobi show. I did say that the Inquisitor Scythe propelled the show higher, but this show did not have a single bad set, as it just had one and is a really good set. So I feel like the Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader set brought it down a little bit, but the Inquisitor Scythe brought it up as much to at least be at the number 8th spot. Next show is Andor, which came with 2 sets and 1 buildable character. Those 2 sets are the Ambush on Ferrix and U-Wing, and then there is also the buildable K2SO. Both of these are good detailed sets. Starting with the Ambush on Ferrix, I really do like the main vehicle, and it has a pretty good amount of interior space to fit the minifigures. And then there is also a speeder bike, which I really like the detailed design of it and the size. It's a pretty bigger speeder bike that can fit Cassian and Luthen, and it just makes for great playability, so you can have a chase between the two. Now the U-Wing is a really good looking set. I think it is an upgraded version from the previous U-Wing in terms of the look. Now it is downsized, which is definitely a disappointment, and because of the downsizing, this interior is pretty sad. I mean, it can only fit Cassian, and even then you'd have to take his hairpiece off for him to really fit. But with that being said, I think the actual design of the U-Wing is phenomenal, and I do think that it looks better than the 2016 version. It's a lot more accurate in terms of, it's more sleek and thin, whereas the 2016 version could feel a little bit bulky. It's also just a very great great display because it looks good, and the minifigure selection is pretty good as well. I really like getting K2SO again and getting Dedra Miro as a minifigure. And the last set is the buildable K2SO, which looks really good. The head looks a little bit wonky, especially like the face, but the rest of the build is just great. I really love the detail. Overall, Andor had 3 good sets, with 2 of them coming with some great minifigure lineups, and all the builds look good. At number 5 is the Bad Batch, and like most sets on this list, it only had 2 sets released, with the Bad Batch Shuttle and Cad Bane's Justifier. Starting with the Justifier, I really do love the massive size of the ship. It is a very big build, and the minifigure selection is pretty good, and it's great getting another Cad Bane. A pretty cool ship design as well. Now onto the Bad Batch Shuttle set. I really like it. Starting with these speeder bikes, there are 2 of them, with each having a good design and just adds a lot of play and just extra builds to the set. And then the Bad Batch Shuttle does look good. There is some interior space where you can fit the members. It is in this kind of blue color, which I think it would have looked better if it was in a more dark gray, but I mean, there are certain shots in the show where it does look like it's kind of a dark blue color, but here I think it is a little too light blue. And then I really like how it comes with every Bad Batch member. Even though Crosshair is the Imperial version, at least every member is included, which I really like. It's an overall really good play set. Both are good sets with good minifigure lineups and good looking builds, and this is definitely a more close ranking to Andor. Next is Ahsoka, which had 6 sets released, and there was really not a bad set. Really, the ones on the lesser side are the Ahsoka's T6 Shuttle and the Duel Imperator, but both of those aren't really bad sets. The Duel Imperator could make the argument that it is another like minifigure stand per se, but it does look better than the one in Kenobi and has a great minifigure lineup. And then on the T6 Shuttle, it doesn't look bad, it's just on the underside. Lego decided not to add any detail compared to the top side, so it's pretty empty, but the T6 Shuttle still does look good on the top side, and then the rest of the sets are really good. The Night Trooper Death Trooper Battle Pack just comes with some great minifigures. The E-Wing versus Shin Hati Starfighter is pretty good builds. I really love the E-Wing design. And then there was a buildable Chopper, which I do like the overall design with. Chopper looks really good. And the last set is what I would consider the best Ahsoka set, which is the Ghost. This is just a massively upgraded version from the first Ghost that came out for Star Wars Rebels. It's a really great looking build and also has a pretty good interior space, and I also like how it comes with a smaller scale Phantom 2 to fit on the back. The minifigure selection is great too, coming with a phenomenal Hera minifigure. So overall, the Ahsoka TV show has a pretty good set lineup. Next up is Star Wars Rebels, which has a lot more sets released compared to the shows that we've already talked about. I selected 4 sets that I think are definitely at the top for this show to represent. Starting with the Rebel Combat Frigate, this is a very cool vehicle to get, and especially being a Rebel, smaller capital ship is just a very nice thing to get. There is some interior space to fit the minifigures, and I like the overall look of the build. And then the Ahsoka minifigure definitely is the highlight minifigure. And of course, I had to choose the Ghost, being the main ship of the show. Now, like I said earlier, the newer Ghost is a massive upgrade, but even then, this one still didn't look bad. It still does look good and can fit all the minifigures within like the turret positions. There is really no interior though, which is a disappointment, but I still like the overall look of the ship. And then there's the Imperial Assault Carrier. I like that this set comes with a lot, like starting with the 4 miniature TIE fighters that you can put on the underside of the ship to give it a more accurate look, and it's cool that they included those. And then there is some interior space where you can put the minifigures and just some accessories as well. And the last set I chose to represent is the Darth Vader's TIE Advance versus A-Wing. Both builds look really good, and I'm a very big fan of these combo sets when it comes with 2 ships on opposite sides, so you can, have a dogfight with them, and it's very cool. And I just really love the design of the A-Wing. Overall, Rebels had some pretty good sets, and there are more that I just didn't represent here for the show, but these 4 are definitely very good, and it has a really good lineup. At number 2 is The Mandalorian. This is the second show on this list that had a pretty good amount of sets released for it, with the best one being the UCS Razor Crest. This is just a phenomenal looking build. I mean, it has a full interior, which is just great. There's also sets like the Imperial Light Cruiser, which is a very cool smaller Imperial ship to get. There's also the Fang Fighter versus TIE Interceptor. Like I said, I like my combo sets, and both of these builds look really good, and that is an excellent looking TIE Interceptor in play scale as well. And then there's also great battle packs and some really unique sets like the Mandalorian Forge. I really like the Imperial Marauder and the minifigures in that one. So overall, Mandalorian had some really good sets, and that UCS Razor Crest definitely is just a highlight and a beautiful build. And at number 1, which you've probably guessed, is Star Wars The Clone Wars, with the most sets released on this list and has some of the best best Lego Star Wars sets in general. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the highlights, which is the UCS Venator and the Republic dropship with ATOT. Starting with the Venator, it is just a phenomenal looking build. Like, no matter what angle that you look at the set, it just looks beautiful. I just really love the design and the amount of detail on the build. And then the Republic dropship and ATOT is another awesome combo set, which I really love. Getting the Walker and the dropship with a very great play feature, of course, dropping off the Walker is just very good. Both builds look phenomenal, and I really love the amount of clone troopers that can fit in the ATOT. And then there's the Republic gunship, which looks really good from 2008, and I really like the design as well. Then there's the turbo tank, which I think is the best one that LEGO has released. It's a very great size, and I like the overall design. And the show even has the best AAT that LEGO has released. This is, this is the good size for an AAT. Since then, we've gotten very small ones. So the Clone Wars has some phenomenal sets. Of course, with there being a lot of sets, not every set is good, but because it has a lot of sets and a lot of great ones, those definitely outweigh, and having some of the best LEGO Star Wars sets in general with that UCS Venator and the Republic dropship and ATOT, the Clone Wars just has a great set lineup and gets the #1 spot. That is my ranking of every Star Wars TV show based off their LEGO sets. Like always, definitely let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with anything. I always like hearing what you have to say and seeing what sets you choose. There were definitely some shows easier than others to rank, but it definitely was a fun video to make. Definitely lightsaber slash that like button and hit subscribe with the post bell on so you know when I upload. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.